Mel Tucker got railroaded. He got railroaded, and a lot of it wasn't his fault. But I can't excuse everything he did because he was stupid in this instance. He was a target, but he was a victim of a perfect storm of events that I'm going to tell you about in this video. To catch everybody up, Mel Tucker was the head football coach for the Michigan State Spartans. He has been suspended without pay, but there's been discrepancy in the news. But for all intents and purposes, he has been terminated from his job, and he's going to lose out on the $80 million contract that he had with Michigan State because they're going to try to remove him with cause. And honestly, I don't see how he can fight that. So to catch everybody up, earlier this year, a complaint was filed against the coach by Brenda Tracy. She filed a sexual harassment claim against him, telling Michigan State investigators that she received gifts from Mel Tucker, that Mel Tucker tried to date her even though he was married, also tried to come to her hotel, and lastly, performed phone sex, one sided phone sex, while he was on the phone with her. Now, how did he meet this lady? Brenda Tracy does not go to Michigan State. No, she operates a nonprofit company that tries to raise awareness about sexual misconduct, especially among college athletes. At around the turn of the century, she had an allegation that she was sexually assaulted by a number of football players where she went to college at. The charges were never brought, and she, from that point on, had been an advocate for women in these situations. And she's gone to many different employers and workplaces and college locker rooms. One of the locker rooms you can guess she went to Michigan State. She went to Michigan State's locker room twice, once in 2021 and another in 2022, and was named an honorary captain for the spring game. She alleges that after that spring game, that's when Mel Tucker turned the Jets on, trying to, sexually pursue her. Now, how do how did anybody find out about this? I don't know. But ESPN put out a report saying they found out about the investigation, and since Michigan State is a state school, they were able to request documents from them. And in those documents, Mel Tucker responded to the investigation. He admitted to much of what happened. He admitted to much of what occurred. He says, yes, I did have phone sex. And right there, my friend, right there, you can no longer be a leader of men. They're going to get you up out of there. All right. So we're going to talk about the perfect storm stuff in 1 second. Hold on for a second. So at that point, in the investigation, he admits to phone sex and says it was consensual. It was a pursuit. And again, you have to be smarter, and it's not just gender specific. If you're a multi-millionaire, everybody's not going to feel the same way about you. Everybody's not going to have their best interest. In my opinion, I feel like he was targeted. The perfect storm, number one, everyone knows the bad stuff that went on in Michigan State. Okay, the person that accuses Mel Tucker of his actions knew that. They knew the toxic place they had because of Larry Nassar and the gymnastics team, and how they had a whole upheaval of executives and administrators at Michigan State. So yeah, quite naturally, you have any kind of allegation of misconduct, you're more than likely going to be viewed as true. Then two, you talk about the woman you brought in. Like, Mel, what are you doing? The woman you brought in is an advocate for this type of stuff. And I think she may have, look, you're a grown man. She may have flirted with you. Yeah, I got that. It may have been consensual. Yeah, I got that. But at that point, it doesn't matter. You're a leader of men and women in that football administration building. And at that point, you are a married man brought in, and the advocate you brought in, or whoever brought in, you're romantically pursuing you. You were a target, bro. She saw you from a mile away. There are predators in every walk of life. Every walk of life. They know you had 80 million guaranteed, and they know they could probably sue Michigan State because and get a big settlement out of court because of what happened. But you didn't know that. You thought, hey, this person might like me. I might step out on my wife and all this other stuff. That's the stuff I can't excuse you for. But number one, you were targeted. I mean, they knew the Michigan State stuff cold, and they knew you were basically a money play. Who knows? Maybe speaking engagements dried up for this person. Maybe they're trying to get a exit on the other side and say, you know what, I'm done with this being in public life. Let me get this legal settlement and get up out of here. And number two, the perfect storm happened. There was a high profile investigation up there in Michigan. Harbaugh got suspended basically for cheeseburgers for 3 games. They were going to make an example out of you, and you can know why they're going to make an example out of you. Mel Tucker is one of the prominent black head coaches at a Power Five. Any misstep out of the way, you knew they're gonna take it to the max. You already know that. And we're not even talking about recruiting violations. This is a big violation. All right. And unfortunately, the the end of the perfect storm, you hadn't been winning, bro. You're not Urban Meyer, okay? They're not gonna look the other way. You don't have this powerhouse that they entrusted in you, and you have a high contract, 80, $90 million. Of course they're gonna try to get out of it, especially this. They're not gonna stand by you. So you got the money, you're not winning, you're black, you're one of the few black coaches, and you have this person who's an advocate saying this is what you did. Her base is automatically going to believe her. And then you add in the Michigan State nonsense that happened years prior with USA Gymnastics. It's easy play. You could see that. This lady's going to possibly reap millions off of this misconduct. Not maybe if not from Michigan State through a lawsuit, then to publicizing yourself going through this experience. You gotta see that, bro. But yet you went on ahead and did what you did. Now, if people don't, if you kind of remember Mel Tucker, you kind of think about it. He actually was a well-regarded head coach. He was actually hired at the University of Colorado. He stayed there for 1 year and then went to go to what he thought was a better opportunity with Michigan State when that opened up. So he was at Colorado for 1 year. And if he's a good coach, well-regarded coach. Coach Prime could not be in Colorado. He could be at South Florida or wherever, Cincinnati, instead of at Colorado. So it's crazy. We might not even have this whole thing that's going on right now if he would have stayed where he was. But everything happens for a reason, and apparently this had to happen too. It's a shame. Sorry, Mel. Heritage Sports.